Right, nice way to start a video then.
First fish for me.
It's just boilie fishing. Just picked up one of the bigger ones. Lovely fish.
So one of a nice brace.
What is that? It's a bloody F1.
Spot on. Cheers for that,
Nice
chaps.
one, yeah.
Good luck.
Cheers, mate.
I'm sure you'll have a few.
They fishing alright?
Yeah, it's been fishing good, to be fair. Yeah.
Weather's alright.
Yeah, well, that's spot on there. I know.
Yeah.
As long as you sort of get set up in between the little showers and that, it's nice, isn't it? It's bang on.
I think there's quite a few on there.
Yeah, it's busy.
Yeah.
But it's used to the pressure down there, so.
Yeah. Cool.
Let's crack on.
Gonna have a look then.
Cheers, chaps.
Cheers, mate.
Thank you.
Happy days, Twitter. Probably shouldn't film this. Oh, hello. Well, that cloud looks a bit grim. I think it's going to pour down in a minute, so we might have to wait for that to pass through. Oh wow, look at that rainbow. I don't know if you can see that, it's a low-lying rainbow right in front of me there across that field. That looks absolutely beautiful. That's mega. Oh wow. Jesus Christ, we're obviously not going to park in here then, are we? Welcome to a new video. I'm back on the bank and you join me on another open access day ticket venue series. Now, today we are down at Todber Manor Fisheries near Dorset and we are fishing on Wadmill Lake. I'm here with Ollie. It's a last minute sort of decision for my birthday. It's my birthday the other day and we decided to come out for a bit of a session. Now, you actually join me at the end of the session and it's been a wicked session. We've just packed up and we've had a load of fish. It's been really, really good, topped off by a really nice common, which is probably one of the better fish in the lake, to be honest. So there's some really nice fish to be able to see, plenty of action, plenty of tips and tricks. So if you're looking at coming down here, then watch on and there's plenty of stuff to inform you about. Right, nice way to start a video then. I've literally got everything set up as there was a little bit of a rain coming in and got the bivvy, everything sorted, flicked a rod out where the fish were showing. And literally I was just putting the bobbin on, it's pulled up tight and happy days, we're into a fish. Probably a double, not a bad condition fish actually, it's quite tidy to be honest. So nice start. There were a few lads in there just before we got here and they had about 16 between them. There's plenty of fish showing, so hopefully we're going to have a few fish and show you what sort of tactics work wonders on Todber Manor. So I'll put this one back and get the rest of the rod sorted because that was the first rod to sort out and it went off that quick. So yeah, I need to get the other stuff sorted, get it back out there and hopefully we'll have a few more. So let's get them home and see what else we can have. That's the wrong way. There you go. Right, and so as you've seen, I've already had a fish. What a lovely start. Nice to get one really quickly. There's a lot of fish showing, quite a few guys around the lake are having a few, so hopefully we're going to have a pretty decent session. I'm hoping Ollie's going to have a few. I'm here with Ollie today, and yeah, we're just doing about 24 hours or so, maybe a little bit less. And he's gone in the spot which is basically in the middle of the two islands, so he's got a good bit of open water in front of him, so I think he's got a really good chance of having a few fish out of there. I've gone in a swim to his right hand side. I'm fishing just on the end of the island. It's a very tight little spot, but there's been plenty of fish showing. It's a natural channel for the fish to go through behind the island, so I think I've got a good chance of a few fish coming through there. Now I thought I'd just show you the rig quickly before I put out the second rod. I've already put the first rod back out on the money, so we'll see if that goes, but I put another one out. I think I'm going to potentially just fish 2 rods because it's quite a small spot. I might drop one in close, I'm not too sure yet, but I'm not going to rush in. I'm just going to fish 2 for a bit and just see what happens. But simple rig, same sort of thing as normal. Leg clip set up, no leader, just main line straight through to the leg clip. And then I'm using a 3-ounce lead. Now normally I use 4-ounce leads because I use big size 4 hooks, but because it is a small little water out, I'm not fishing very far at all. I don't want to use too big of a lead. It's quite a you know, if I'm using a 4-ounce lead, it's quite a lot to chuck out close range. So I've gone down to a 3, so it's a little bit lighter. Then I'm using 7 or 8 inches of tungsten loaded. This is the semi-stiff, and then I've got a size 4 cryogen gripper on there. Fished my standard D-rig style, and then I've got a large bait screw which has got a snowman set up. So I'm using a 12mm bottom bait and a 10mm pop-up, and that balances out perfectly. They're both the DNA bug. The bottom bait's actually glugged up, so it's a little bit heavier, but it balances really nice with that pop-up. And that is a setup, nice and simple. Now, just to add a little bit of extra attraction, I've got myself some little mesh bags tied up. These are full of the DNA 4mm bug pellet, and I'm just nicking that on and casting that out. So obviously it just adds a little extra boost of attraction around the rig. Bait wise, I'm just going to be feeding with a catapult, just scattering a few boilies over the top of them, nice and simple. Not going to be doing any spodding or anything this session. It's really close range stuff. I'm going to be fishing your typical sort of carp fishing tactics of boilies essentially. So it's worked already, but let's get this one out, see if we can get a fish on this one, and hopefully we'll have a bit of a productive session. But weather's looking bang on, so I'm pretty confident we're going to have a few, and hopefully Ollie will get a few, because it'd be nice to see him put a few on the bank. So let's get it out there and yeah, see if we can have another one. Right, in second rod going out. I'm actually fishing, oh, I know what I've forgotten. Right, second rod going out then. Now I'm fishing just to the end of the island with both rods at the moment, and I'm just scattering a few little baits over the top of them. So we'll just flick this one out. Hopefully I don't get it in the island. Absolutely perfect. Couldn't have cast it any better if I tried twice. But there you go, I'm just fishing reasonably tight to the island. And what I'm actually doing on this session, which I don't do very often, but I'm actually backleading the rods. And the reason for that is I'm fishing a really tight spot. So if I do get a few fish, it's going to be tricky playing them if I've got quite a few lines going out. So I'm just backleading just off the rod top, basically at the bottom of the shelf. And that just keeps the line down out of the way. So if I do get any fish thrashing around in front of me, hopefully they'll avoid the rods and not get caught up in them. So I think if I have tight lines going out across the swim, the chances are I'll end up getting one of them caught up on the other aspect. The other advantage of it is there's obviously a lot of guys on here, and most people are just fishing tight lines. Nothing wrong with that, but when there's a lot of people doing it, it's obviously lines going all over the lake, and sometimes I think the fish are aware of your lines. Now normally on waters I fish, I can't fish a line towards the bottom. I don't like slack lines, and I'm not a massive fan of a back lead because obviously it does delay the bite indication, and a lot of the places I fish tend to be quite weedy. But on a lake like this, where it's a relatively flat, barren lake bed, it's just sort of a silty lake bed, I don't mind, because I know it's not going to cause me any issues. So right, that's that done anyway. Rods are out, we're fishing. 2 rods out. I'm going to put a little bit more bait out, and yeah, hopefully the fish are going to play ball. Don't feel very big at all. Is that even a carp? Must be a carp. It is a carp. Is that rod gone as well? What is that? It's a bloody F1. It's an F1. That's what I was trying to avoid. Well, the rod was out about 2 minutes after putting the second rod out, and it went off, and I've got an F1. Definitely not the intended quarry, so let's get it back, and hopefully the next fish is an actual carp. So yeah, let's slip him back. Right, that's 2 fish on a score sheet then. I don't know if the F1 really counts, but it was nice to get another bite. As I've said earlier, I am here with Ollie, who is in the swim. What are you doing, mate? How you getting on?
Yeah, doing alright. First time being up here, so it's pretty cool to go somewhere new. Yeah, fishing out right in front of me, about 8 wraps. And got one down into left-hand corner with a bag.
Nice.
There's no one down to my left.
There's been a lot showing in front of you, hasn't there? So hopefully you can have a few, I reckon.
Yeah, it's looking as if it's going to be productive. So happy days.
Yeah, happy days. Well, as and when something happens, we'll obviously try and get it on camera for you. And yeah, I'm going to open up a tin of cider, I think. Ollie's on the coffee, it looks like. But I'm going to open up a tin of Thatcher's because it was my birthday yesterday, and I think it's about time I had a Thatcher's. So yeah, let's go and do that, and hopefully we'll have a few fish. Right, Ollie's into one. It's been quiet for a while. We've been wondering why nothing's been happening. And I think it's right hand rod. Left hand rod actually. It's gone off. Well, they have solid bag.
Yep. On the margin.
Your solid bag and the margin's gone off.
Because no one else is fishing margin.
But yeah, it's been a bit quiet. It's not been a lot rolling. Seems when we got here there were loads of fish showing. And then since it got dark, it's gone absolutely dead. Not really even heard anyone having anything. And then he's just had an absolute screamer out of the blue. So happy days. He's obviously making a meal out of it. He must be an absolute beast. Good-oo.
In the bag.
What I mean?
Happy days. Really nicely.
What we got? What we got? Look in the net.
Mid-sized common. Oh,
There's a mirror, mate.
mirror-sized common. More on that.
It's probably like mid-double, isn't it? Happy days. Get around and have a look.
Cool. First fish in the net for me. Nice mid-double mirror. Caught from the left-hand rod down the margin on a solid bag. Hopefully more to come shortly. Getting back in the water. Lovely.
He's over here. Right, carp number 2, fish number 3. Hopefully it's focused in alright. I've done it in a bit of a rush because he's very lively. But yeah, fish number 3, happy days. Same rod this one, left hand rod, out on the point of the island. Over scattering little and often of the bug. A little snowman hook bait, but and again back he's very lively. But nice to get another bite, happy days. Hopefully there's a few more along the way. Right, yeah, the tactics paid off. One of the better ones, £26, pretty much bang on. Cracking common. Yeah, nice result. Wicked. But she is pretty lively, so I'm going to get her back pretty quick. But yeah, I'm happy with that. Big bait tactics. It's just boilie fishing. Just picked out one of the bigger ones, so Happy days. Right, let's get her back. And you never know, something bigger might come along. I doubt it, but you never know. Right, I've just had this morning wake up call. What a beautiful fish, little ziplin. Lovely fish. Put up an absolute mega scrap under the rod top. I could not get it in the net, I just didn't want to give up. In the end, I really had to give it a bit of bullying to get it over that net cord. But yeah, what a cracking fish. Happy with that, lovely one. This one was off the margin spot. Literally just a very light scattering of bait and a single 20mm boilie. Actually it was a snowman, 20mm boilie, topped with a little pop up, so it was a bit of a snowman. But there's a much bigger hook bait on this one. And yeah, it's gone off with this little guy, so not a monster, but a lovely, lovely fish. So I'm happy with that. The rain's just started coming down. To be honest, the camera's getting a bit wet, so I really should get it back. But show you the other side very quickly, because it is a nice fish. Pretty much the same on the other side, but yeah, what a lovely carp. Anyway, let's get him back and see if we can have a few more. So look at that then, I've only got one rod out. So I just slipped that zip lin back after doing a video and the left hand rod went off. And I've got another fish in the net. It's not very big, it is only quite a small common. So I'm not going to mess around with it as it's now pouring down with rain. And the camera got a bit damp after that zip lin. So I don't want to mess around and set the camera up again because it's just going to get another drowning. So if I get a decent fish while it's raining, I will try and set up the camera properly. But for this one, I'm not going to bother. I'm going to leave it under the brolly and I'm going to just zoom in over onto the unhooking mat as I'm unhooking it, and you can obviously see the fish from there. But yeah, nice to have another bite, but it's a bit grim out there at the moment. Good for the weather, good for the ducks. Not great for me, but at least it's producing bites. There you go then. Little cricket back common. Fortunately, it's got a little bit of mouth damage from previous captures, but I put a bit of the quarter propolis on it just to hopefully help it heal. But yeah, very lean little common. Let's slip him back anyway. Right, here's another one then, little double figure common. Very lively, like most of them are. Nice to be getting a few bites. I think that's either 7 or 8 now, so not going too badly. Got most of today, so hopefully we can get a few more. But yeah, slipping back and get out of the rain. Right, there we go then. One of the rods on the island's gone again. I think this is fish number 8 or 9 now. Spots rocking. Fish are definitely on the feed today with this lovely mild wet weather that's coming this morning. It was a bit of a quiet night. It went very clear and dropped quite cold. And I think with this wet, milder weather that's coming this morning, they've switched back on. I've been having a few more bites, but yeah, the tactics are working really well. I will talk through those in a second and just go through what I'm doing. But it's very simple, as always, but very effective. But I'm going to slip this one back, so the rain's starting to come down again. And the camera's already got wet a few times. Oh, and this guy clearly wants to go home, so... yeah, nice fish, happy days, let's get him home, see if we can get a few more. Right, morning then, having the first coffee of the day. I made this probably about an hour and a half ago, but I've had a pretty busy morning, so I've not had a chance to drink it. But yeah, I think since first light I've had 4 fish I think now. And obviously I've had a pretty decent night as well. I think I'm on about 8 or 9. It's been quite productive. Best fish so far is £26 common, so I'm pretty happy with that. Nice to get a 20 pounder because the average size is sort of double really. But yeah, the tactics have worked well, and I said after that last fish that I talked through a little bit about tactics. And essentially I'm boilie only fishing. And the reason for that is it's a mixed fishery, this lake, and there's a lot of bream, there's quite a few F1s, there's quite a lot of carp in general, there's some smaller carp in here as well, and so I just want to try and focus in on the sort of the better average size of carp. I think by fishing boilie only I'm going to be able to do that. Another thing I'm doing as well, which doesn't get done very much, is I'm using quite big baits. Now, when I'm spodding to an area, spodding out sort of boilie pellet, that sort of thing, I like to use smaller baits. I use the 8 millers, 12 mil on, generally speaking, then fish like a wafter hook bait over the top of it. Obviously those smaller sort of size baits work much better in a spodded situation where you're fishing a tight bed of bait, and spodding out sort of more particle based baits, so like your smaller size baits. But when you're fishing with boilies, I prefer to fish like a boilie only approach. I prefer to fish bigger baits because I'm generally sort of fishing a bit of a spread. The fish are sort of going from one boilie to the other, sort of dropping down, picking them up, going to the next one, dropping down, picking it up. And so I prefer to use bigger baits in that situation. I think it makes it a lot easier to hook the fish. I think if you're using a bigger bait and they're used to picking up bigger baits, they're not going to be so cautious of picking a hook bait up. They're obviously going to have more confidence picking up something that might not be as light as the freebies. And also a lot of people don't tend to fish bigger baits. People tend to fish like 15 millers, whereas today I'm fishing a mix of 16s and 20s, so not massive baits. I've actually got some 22 mils with me, but I've not decided to use them yet. But yeah, they're not huge baits, but they are definitely bigger than what the average angler is using. I think sometimes that can actually work in your favour because it's different. It's different to what most people are using, but also it's actually a lot easier. So I can easily catapult them quite decent distances because they're bigger baits, they're heavier, so I can get them out a lot further with a catapult. If you are fishing even further again, you can use a throwing stick to get them out, and obviously because they're bigger, they're heavier, so they go a lot further. Whereas with your smaller baits, your 50 millers, they don't go that far. And yeah, it just makes life a lot easier. So it gives you a bit of option as well with like hook bait wise. So you know, I can fish like a large hook bait if I wanted to, which is then different to probably what a lot of people on the lake are using. So it just sort of gives you a little bit of an advantage, I think, and just offers that slight difference in what is a simple approach, but it just makes you sort of stand out a little bit from the crowd. Presentation looks a bit different, and so I do think it tends to help. But yeah, that's the tactics I'm using, and so far, yeah, so good.
See you later, John. See you later.
So one of a nice brace, both caught from the central middle rod, and yeah, nice low double, absolutely awesome colours on it, very coy looking on top. So yeah, slip this one back and we'll get a look at the next one. So this is the second one of the brace. Once again, central rod, And yeah, just a little bit bigger this one. Reckon probably around about £13. Maybe just slightly bigger.
Yeah, maybe 13, 14, yeah.
Okay, so fish number 5 for me. On the same area again, a little bit further out. And yeah, produce this roughly about £7 or £8 mirror. Right, I'm going to slip him back and stay tuned for another fish on the bank. Fish number 6 then caught just on the right hand margin rod on a solid bag. Similar sort of size to the last one I had. Poorly conditioned mirror, and he's quite lively still. So I'm going to get him back really quickly because I know he's going to end up flipping in a second.
As morning passed, so did the bite, so we slowly started to pack down. We were more than happy with 15 fish between us in less than 24 hours. Todber Manor is a great fishery with multiple lakes and plenty of options. Check out the website for more details. If you're getting out, be lucky, and I'll see you in the next video.